Well, the season is now 4 weeks old. It is home opening night for the Indy 11. Year number 9 for the Indy 11, year 5 in the USL Championship. And we thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer, both on Wish TV and ESPN+. For the first and only time, it is Los Dos, the LA Galaxy 2, that make their debut at Carroll Stadium. We make our debut on your television or computer screens for the season. It is year 9 for us as well. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder, your commentary team for 20 Indy 11 matches this season. Tonight, one of 4 times will be on Wish TV. And while Mother Nature didn't get the memo in terms of the rain that is coming down as we speak, there is truly no place like home, no place like the mic for the Indy 11.
Despite the weather, it's opening day, and there's something always awesome and magical about that.
Again, this is year number 6 for the Indy 11 here at Carroll Stadium. First 4 years in the NASL were spent in this facility, then 3 years at Lucas Oil Stadium. We were back home again in Indiana last year. The only restriction tonight is the rain. No longer any COVID restrictions. We're hoping to see crowds of 8,000, 9,000, if not more, throughout the course of the season, like the first of 17 home games. Let's take a look back last week for the Indy 11. After rough starts at Loudoun United and the Tampa Bay Rowdies, an always well-earned point against Lou City with the opening goal of the season by Stefano Pino.
This was amazing. You find Nicky Law out on the edge of the box. He gets Corbin Bone to bite on a fake and delivers a perfect ball back post.
Now, again, it wasn't 3 points. It was just 1. Sean Tosh would equalize early in the second half for Lou City, but there was a goal-saving clearance by Rodney Michael later that preserved that point for the boys in blue.
Oh, that was one. You're sitting on pins and needles as they're playing replay after replay.
1 point was nice. Indy wants all 3 against their first of 8 matchups this season with teams from the Western Conference. It's Indy 11. It's LA Galaxy 2. Starting lineups, opening kickoff come your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer here on Wish TV and ESPN+. The sun is starting to shine out in the west. Looking forward to kickoff just a matter of moments away. Our starting lineups presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Elliot Panico, the new man in goal for head coach Mark Lowry. Mark brings 2 veterans with him from El Paso, Brian Rebion and Mishak Giroux.
Yeah, and it's good that he was able to bring it. You got some guys, and they play close together, so you get a little bit of Mark Lowry's connection from these guys in your back line immediately.
And Justin Ingram, the graduate of Pike High School, making his professional debut this season with the Indy 11. Now for LA Galaxy 2 for Los Dos, and talking with Mark Lowry about this side this week. He said, you know, it's kind of unique for these two teams. Not a lot of academy kids, not a lot of MLS guys on contract. This is truly a team that they signed to play in the USL Championship. And one familiar face, Liam Doyle, who finished the year with the Indy 11 last year. He's played every minute of every match for a 1-2 Galaxy 2 side.
And I gotta tell you, he looks good. I've watched the last couple games that they played, and he's delivering the ball great out of that center back spot.
Our starting lineups presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Again, the rain began at about 5. It has been rather constant for the last couple of hours. Winds are starting to pick up from the west. Temperatures in the low 50s. They'll be dropping throughout the course of the game. Get a quick look at Elliot Panico. Yes, the Checkers are back for the Indy 11 for the first time since the 2017 season. And a guy that has torn it up in this building for visiting teams before. Stefano Pino is on your screen. Thank you so much for joining us for the beginning of Season 9 of Indy 11 Soccer here on Wish TV and ESPN+.
Oh, what a ball.
Pino flag stays down. Left foot looking back post. Because of the fact it was all of 20 seconds in, there was nobody making a corresponding run to go with him, but a threatening moment off the top of the match for the Indy 11.
What a great ball by Ingram, and Pino has a great touch right behind the center back.
And clearly the Galaxy 2 theory of building from the back, the fact they are going into a pretty strong westerly breeze helps that as well. We referenced off the top of the broadcast, first and likely only meeting between these two teams. The LA Galaxy 2, one of the 4 MLS affiliated clubs still playing in the USL Championship. The others, Atlanta United 2, New York Red Bulls 2, and Loudoun United. They will all head to play in MLS Next Pro a year from now. Here's a dangerous ball, and Indy 11 had their shot in minute number 1. LA Galaxy 2 had their look in minute number 2.
Yeah, I tell you what, a great ball delivered to Salazar between Rebillon and Jerome.
It was Hamza Berry that had the look for LA Galaxy 2. Quick check of our injury report tonight. It is brought to us by Community Health Network Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. 2 returning players from a season ago. Last year's leading goal scorer in Manuel Arteaga, and Ioze in his 5th season with the Indy 11. He and Carl Lamet, now the 2nd and 3rd players in club history to spend parts of 5 years with the boys in blue. They are both out, but I can tell you their return is going to be sooner rather than later. Again, flag stays down, opportunity. This one flicked back post. Panico never had to lay a finger to it. However, LA Galaxy 2 will race to it and keep this ball in play.
Oh, clever ball.
Right idea, just couldn't make the connecting pass, and this has to remind that gentleman, Mark Lowry, of playing in the Western Conference the last few years with the up and down pace to it. To get to our keys of the game, presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Brad, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the first key for Indy 11 is to elevate the line of confrontation. You saw 2 different halves against Lou City, and in that first half, they pressed a little bit higher up the field. You're seeing that already tonight. And then the second is, ever since Nicky Law put on that Honda jersey for Indy 11, he's been a difference maker. The more touches you get him, the more good things are going to happen. And for a team like Los Angeles Galaxy 2 that's on the road, good things happen when you focus on restarts and the transition game.
And LA Galaxy 2 is not used to making this length of a road trip. Let's explain the scheduling formula this year in the USL Championship. 27 teams playing in the championship this year. You are back to playing everybody in your conference twice. For the teams in the East, that means you play 8 games against teams from the West. This is the first of 4 home games against Western Conference teams. Next week, Indy heads to South Texas to take on Rio Grande Valley, the defending USL Championship winners in Orange County. They will be here on April the 24th, but 8 of 34 games this year will take place against Western Conference foes. Last year, the first time that Indy ever played a Western Conference team, they played 2 of them at El Paso and hosted Real Monarchs.
Very similar to start in Lou City, where this press up in the attacking third from Indy 11 is gaining some repossessions and opportunity to get right into goal.
A.J. Cochrane back for a second year with the Indy 11. He missed the last 2 months of the season last year due to injury. Jared Timmer, also a second-year Indy 11 man. His pass had to be cleaned up by Law. Cochrane took a step forward, got knocked off the ball, and that will be a foul. That whistle against Preston Judd. And Judd, what a debut season he had at this level a season ago. 17 goals. He's already got 1 this season as well.
You know, you're surprised when you put up those kind of numbers that the team is able to retain him and that he's not seeing some significant minutes with the first team.
Judd was the second leading scorer in the Western Conference last year, only behind Haji Berry, who scored 25 for Colorado Springs a season ago. And look at Brian Rebillon. He last played in this building when he played for the Jacksonville Armada back in 2017. Brian from Columbia. Brian played for the LA Galaxy too back in 2016. He's been in the States ever since.
It's a great read there. Fjellberg forces play out wide. Ingram pops out of the middle and nearly nicks the ball.
It's sliding tackle away by the Indy 11. LA Galaxy player down. Referee says play on. Indy 11 will do so. Let's see if they will wait for the injured player. They will. A.J. Cochrane will stop play immediately. Tell the player who is down just yet. Now we have a look at it. It is Mike Salazar, team captain. That is the injured player. And I could see where he potentially could have said, hey, that might have been a foul. Rebillon may have gotten a freebie on that one. It is so wonderful to see that beautiful group of humans there at the west end of the stadium. Brickyard Battalion undeterred by the weather conditions tonight. They are literally here come heck or high water for this franchise. Feldberg looking to make the turn. Feldberg last year split time between FC Cincinnati as well as Rio Grande Valley. Young man that is from Norway, becoming the first Norwegian to play for the Indy 11. 36 different nationalities have now been represented in the 9-year history of the Indy 11. Feldberg couldn't split 2 defenders, but we have our first corner of the match for the Indy 11 here in minute number 7.
I'll tell you what, he makes things happen. There's a pace and there's a little craftiness to him.
Had 22 goals in 61 matches just down the road at the University of Dayton. At this time last year, he was still playing college soccer. Did not sign with Cincinnati until May, so he could maintain his college eligibility. Bending ball sent in, opportunity!
Oh my goodness.
That just couldn't be steered in. And the whack by Fjellberg, nowhere close, and that frankly should have been the first goal tonight for the Indy 11.
What an opportunity. A great ball lifted to the back post, and I don't know how it didn't wind up in the back of the net.
Again, the flick towards the back of the net, and Pino, I think, made contact with the post before he then made contact with the ball. That was the equivalent of a tap-in that the Indy 11 could not convert. And again, wind, slick turf conditions are playing a factor. And again, simply put, there is no way that LA Galaxy 2 can replicate these conditions in Southern California that we are dealing with tonight. We just call this April in Indiana. You might get 1 or 2 days like this a year in Los Angeles. That was last touched by Pino. Doyle had him marked, and here comes the restart for LA Galaxy 2.
You like this energy. This is exactly how the first half felt last Saturday. You just kept feeling like good things were going to happen if they can keep this pace up.
There's a great Twitter account that I follow when building from the back goes wrong.
Oh my goodness.
This is signing up to be this for the Indy 11. Because LA Galaxy has had a couple of shaky turnovers in trying to build from the back. Another opportunity. Rebillon could not keep it on frame. but Indy getting multiple looks on goal here in the first 10 minutes.
And it's coming off of that pressure. It's coming off of the repossessions that they're getting. And this is just an energized group. And you started seeing this last week in the first half. You're saying, okay, you see what this club is capable of.
By the way, tonight's match presented in part by Select. Celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at SelectSportAmerica.com. Select, League's choice, player's choice. Here's Jared Timmer, the former Butler Bulldog. Races onto this ball from Nicky Law.
Clever touch.
Nicky the assist last week in Louisville. Ingram was last touched by a Galaxy 2 player. Ingram, a first-year pro, began his playing days at the University of Virginia, transferred to Loyola of Maryland. Drafted by Inter Miami earlier this year, but never signed with the South Florida club. Raul Aguilera, the target. He missed last week's match due to a red card the previous week against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Tonight's game presented in part by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. And that'll be a foul. And that might be a card. Forget the might be part. First card of the night. Shown to LA Galaxy 2.
It's a great touch. It's a great touch.
That is Josh Drack that is whistled for the infraction. Indy clearly on the front foot here, and we'll get a better look. And Rebion just got hooked enough to where he drew said foul. This is not a homecoming for Brian. It is a homecoming to play professionally here, having spent it. Referee was shielded on that play, couldn't see it. Fjellberg racing back, and that'll be deemed to be a foul as Dunbar goes down in a heap.
Whoa.
And that will be a yellow shown to Fjellberg. Michael Salazar will come over and talk to Jonas about said foul.
And it's tough. It's tough, too, to draw a yellow right after you believe you have legitimate handball in the box. It's just this big emotional swing.
Cam Dunbar, the player that was fouled. See if referee's going to get the opinion of the linesman on the play. The assistant referee are simply saying, nope, yellow's enough, we're moving on from here. See Salazar wearing the captain's armband. We saw him in Memphis a year ago. Scored a couple of goals against the Indy 11. Take a look from our end zone camera. And yes, it was the location of where that tackle came from as much as the ferocity of it that drew the attention of our match referee.
And even in these conditions, it's difficult to hold up. But that ball was going out of bounds. It was running out of play. And
he was out of bounds when the contact was made.
Yeah, there was the chance to draw off of that.
Thankfully, it appears that Dunbar is all right. Because if that contact is made at the top of the track, that's a problem. That ball is a problem. Panico did the best he could with it. Eventually, Law back to settle it for the Indy 11.
It's a good read by Panico because that ball from Liam Doyle was on point.
Nicky Law.
Good counter.
4v3. Sizing up his options. Plays it across. Finds a man. Aguilera. Up and over the bar. Third opportunity with none of them yet to be on target for the boys in blue.
And that is tough. You got a virtually a 4-on-3 coming with Aguilera coming late on the outside, and Nicky Law waits till all the defenders are engaged, and then with the outside of his foot bends it across the box.
As we show you the replay, the restart has already happened for the LA Galaxy 2. And again, they're not going with the goal kick. They're going with the quick pass to a center back, and Indy 11 immediately trying to pounce. There's been a lot of this match played in this level of real estate, but once LA Galaxy 2 has gotten the ball past the midfield stripe, they've had just as many good looks on goal as the Indy 11 had in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, and it's been that direct ball as they're trying to find pockets between and behind the Indy 11 back line, and that's one of the things that you have to give up when you press that high up the field, is that space behind you. And so, you know, LA Galaxy 2 is looking to see if they can exploit that.
Sam Brown commits the foul for the Indy 11. First time we have called his name tonight. Young man that spent the last couple of years playing for Real Monarchs. A Harvard-educated gentleman is Mr. Brown. Of course, this match presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. There's been very little of this in this match so far, and that's anybody along the back line passing it back and forth to one another.
No, and it's important for LA to grab that ball a little bit and make Indy defend in their own half instead of getting into that game in their defensive half where they're continuing to lose the ball.
We would say normally this has been a north and south match, but the directions of this building, wow, east and west. Fantastic ball here. Salazar sends it in. Jerome, the sliding tackle atop the BYB. Corner coming for Los Dos in minute number 17.
That's a great tackle. Brilliant ball, slipped in the seam between the outside back and Jerome. Great ball by Salazar across, and Jerome just makes this goal-saving slide to make sure it doesn't come across the 6.
Mark Lowry will tell you he thinks Mishak Jerome is as good as any center back playing in this country. Mishak has now spent parts of 13 years playing professionally here in the States. He has been attached to Mark Lowry since 2016. We last saw Mishak playing for the Jacksonville Armada in this building. In fact, Mishak is the all-time leader in appearances for the Armada. Already on the target that time. Ball never got to him. Dunbar goes flying. Law not happy about what he felt were theatrics from Dunbar on the play. Quickly back to action here at Carroll Stadium. Nifty touch. Cochrane steps in the way. Cochrane familiar with playing against LA Galaxy 2 from his days in Phoenix. Preceded his time with the Indy 11. Cochrane was really having a solid year for Indy before an unfortunate head injury against Real Monarchs in late August effectively ended his 2021 campaign.
And good to see him back. He brings such presence to that back line.
Opportunity here for Salazar, trying to find Judd. Jerome steps in the way. Feldberg just couldn't lift it over the polished noggin of Liam Doyle. Here's Nicky Law. This is about the spot where he created an opportunity for Stefano Pino a week ago.
That's well defended.
He just took a tumble, did Nicky. Brown made contact with the player after the ball had gotten by, but had made contact nonetheless. And with that, it is a foul against the Indy 11. Hamza Berry, the aggrieved party that time for LA Galaxy 2. There has been no settling into a rhythm or routine in this match. It has been all go, no quit from both sides here in the opening 20 minutes of play.
That was a great run by Dunbar. They just couldn't find him.
LA Galaxy 2 lost their first 2 matches of the season before beating Rio Grande Valley last time out. That was a midweek match last Wednesday. That will be Indy's next opponent on Saturday night. In conditions, I would guess, significantly warmer than this. Barry couldn't make the connecting run. Good ball, just didn't have the steps right.
Yeah, good little build, a couple of touches in the middle, little connection in the middle, squeeze the Indy back line, open up things on the wing. They just missed the connecting pass.
Possession starting to tilt in favor of the visitors. Always some of the other Western Conference teams that we will see at Carroll Stadium this year. New Mexico United will be here on race weekend on May 28th. As we mentioned, the defending USL champions in Orange County will be here in just a couple of weeks. One of the Sunday matches this year for the Indy 11. And by the way, that game has slightly shifted its start time. Sunday, April 24th at 5:30. The match will be seen on ESPN Deportes as well as our broadcast on ESPN Plus and My Indy TV. Ingram with the pressure. Deemed not to get into the foul, but was ruled to have touched it last. Drack the throw in for LA Galaxy 2.
Oh, another good run by Dunbar. He's hanging out on the wing, just kind of losing himself on the touchline. And then when they win the ball, Timmer's pinched in a little bit, and they're looking for that ball right out on the seam here.
Timmer played against LA Galaxy 2 couple of years ago when he was with Reno. Played the Western Conference Finals in 2020. Jared's third year as a pro after spending 5 years playing for our buddy Paul Snape at Butler University. Bit of an errant pass that time for Galaxy 2. Today's game presented in part by Keystone Construction. Keystone Construction, it's more than construction. We build a vision. Opportunities aplenty the first 10 minutes for the Indy 11. Those have slowed as of late. This ball simply played to the side to avoid a potential transition look for the Indy 11. Law presses the tempo anyway.
Good quick throw.
Fjellberg ends up drawing another corner for the Indy 11 here in minute number 23.
And that's just a veteran move, picking that ball up, getting the ball in early on the throw-in before Galaxy 2 could get themselves set in the back line.
Good look at Liam Doyle, again briefly a member of the Indy 11 last year from the Isle of Man. One of the more unique locations for an Indy 11 player to be from over the years. Ball sent in. Said gentleman from Isle of Man lifts it away. Jerome now will settle for Indy. Looking back post for Revion, but Richard Sanchez in goal tonight for LA Galaxy 2. Roofs over to squelch the Indy 11 opportunity. Right idea on the restart. Better read by Timmer. But sometimes that ball can get in the way.
Unbelievable. It's a great read. You'd love to see how that would have wound up.
Given the weather conditions, falling temperatures, a very representative crowd on hand for this first night of Indy 11 soccer. You won't have to wait long to see the boys in blue here at Carroll Stadium. They're back here on Tuesday for their U.S. Open Cup match. They take on the reserves for soon-to-be Major League Soccer St. Louis City SC. That is a 7:30 kickoff. You can watch that match on ESPN Plus, but tickets are available by going to Indy11.com or calling 317-685-1100. And as always, the Indy 11 app has more. Brown couldn't get there in time. Timmer does. Timmer forcing the opportunity. Timmer gives it a go from distance. Everything has been elevating once it gets to the 6-yard box, but that is 4 shots from 4 different players now for the Indy 11.
And they've come off of repossessions. It's great the way that the press is leading to that, and then those opportunities to get in quick in the transition game are proving to be effective for the 11.
And Timmer, not a guy that often looks for his own shot for the Indy 11.
I'll tell you, when Salazar's looking at game film, he's thinking, okay, Timmer's going to give this ball up. Every now and then you can catch him by surprise.
And once again, in trying to build from the back, not a live ball turnover, if you will, but possession quickly swings back to the Indy 11. Ingram draws another corner. Of course, my partner not only played professional soccer for a decade, but is the coach at DePaul Universities. There are times when we get into the tactical and theoretical discussions in terms of the broadcast.
Philosophical sometimes, too.
Yes, we do. And after said corner, we may get into one in terms of the playing strategy along the back line for Galaxy 2. First things first, service by Law, and Sanchez made that one look easy. Now, this time it looks like he's going to clear this one out via a goal kick. But your thoughts on how the Galaxy are just, again, playing this ball to the side, inviting the pressure from the Indy 11?
Well, it hasn't been effective for them because they've been turning the ball over. But when you take a look at what they're creating this opportunity here in the space in behind Indy 11, because they are drawing the 11 in. They're just not being able to exploit it. So if they can connect a few passes here, keep Indy pressing up high, and then open up things for Dunbar, they could be effective with it.
And then whenever you have a 2 team, they are always going to model the style of the parent club in the LA Galaxy. Pino making a run. Sanchez way off of his line, but again, not in a bad position to track that one down.
It's the turnovers like that that are the part that aren't in the game plan. You know, I mean, when you're sending your wing backs up high and you're knocking the ball around between your center backs looking for opportunities, you're never building in there, hey, we're going to turn the ball over at the edge of our attacking defending third.
What you're not seeing is much of this possession in the midfield by the LA Galaxy. It's along their back line, or it is in the front 3, and they are going after it. Judd onside, but not superhuman. Could not track that down. Goal kick coming for Elliot Panico. Tonight's game presented in part by Bet Rivers, official sports betting partner of the Indy 11. Bet with a winner. Nervous moments at the back for the Indy 11. Dunbar the target.
Oh, great touch.
Trying to work his way around Timmer. Ball headed deftly away by A.J. Cochrane. Asked for a handball, do not get it. How can Fjellberg track that down? And the answer is no. 3 weeks ago when Jonas made his Indy 11 debut, that was the match at Loudoun United, where the temperatures were in the 20s, the wind chills were in the teens, and only certain sections of Segra Field were open because they couldn't clear the snow in time. I asked Jonas, is that anywhere close to as cold as you played in Norway? He goes, oh, not even close. He's happier for the slightly warmer conditions tonight. Timmer asking for an offside flag, won't get it. Dunbar will simply let that one trickle across the end line. Corner kick coming for LA Galaxy 2. They were one of the first names announced to be brought back to the Indy 11 from last year, and I thought that was very much a no-brainer. Have Jared return for a second season. Corner coming. Taylor Davila takes it. Good service. The player got there first. Ingram gets there next. Great job to win that one back. Sliding it through. Ball blasted. Never got through. Corner coming. A combination of Pino and Cochrane. Knock it away.
What a touch to slip him through into the 6. That might have been Pino that came and made that sliding tackle.
It's a beautiful
Look at that ball.
bit of skill there. And it ricochets off Cochrane.
My goodness.
Traffic in front of Elliot Panico at 6'5", 6'6". Elliot no problem towering over the noise in front of him. Player goes down at the edge of the 6. No whistle given. It was Preston Judd, the player that went to the ground, and this one goes all the way back to the Sanchez at the top of the 18. A rare chance to reset for both teams. We have this opportunity. One of the youngsters that we often see in the BYB turns 11 tonight.
What?
Happy birthday, Elliott Reed.
There we go.
No place else he'd rather be than having his birthday party here tonight. Good to see his mom, Catherine, before the game, president of the Brickyard Battalion. She was one of the dozens, if not 100 or more fans that made the trip down I-65 in cold conditions last week for the 1-1 draw in Lou City. Giveaway by the Indy 11. And that Lou City return date has been moved from where it originally was on the schedule. It's originally going to be a June 11th match. It'll now be a Wednesday, August 31st match. It will be the only midweek league match of the home schedule for the Indy 11. Giveaway. Throw in coming for Indy.
And you can see the thought behind it. They had the build. They're looking at pushing their wing backs up, using their 6 to try and bounce the ball off of to see if they can break the press. And they've done it effectively, and then they give the ball away in that final touch.
Mark Lowry, how you feeling about this game right now, Brad?
Well, you know, you're always concerned when you go into the high press and you get a lot of opportunities off of it and you don't convert, because you do have to spend a lot of energy to get it. But you like the flavor and the feel of this game.
We have spent so much time trying to tell you about the new faces on the Indy 11. Haven't told you that much about the man in charge, Mark Lowry. Again, we first got to know him in his days in Jacksonville in the NASL, last 3 years with El Paso, building that program from scratch into a consistent winner. Named the head coach of the Indy 11 back in November. Thought to be one of the bright young minds in American soccer coaching. Even though he's not from the States, but he has been plying his craft here for some time. Fjellberg, can he settle? Fjellberg cuts back. Oh! And lifts it over the bar. A familiar refrain for seemingly every Indy 11 opportunity so far tonight.
Everything has been good except the final touch.
This was exquisite to put that ball back on his left feet. And sometimes in television we can just kind of lay out and let the picture tell the story. Mark Lowry's reaction did not need further explanation.
What you talk about, the great job that he's done. We've had the pleasure of watching him at Jacksonville and then in El Paso the last couple of years. And then you also talk about Meshach Jerome and coming with him and how they've been together for so many years. It really reminds me a lot of Coach Rennie and Matt Watson. I think when a coach finds a player that gets it and a player finds a coach that understands him, that relationship can transcend teams, conferences, divisions, leagues.
There have been times when Sanchez has had an errant clearance. That was on purpose. He was well off his line. That was, hey, let me get this ball to safety and get everybody reset here. One of the aspects that we will be talking about a great deal formationally for the Indy 11 this year, as Aguilera couldn't keep that ball in play, is the diamond. Give the average fan the tactical explanation of what that means for the midfield in the Indy 11's proper formation.
Well, you look at how they're using it here right now. They're dropping either Pino or Fjellberg back to pick up one of the wing backs that's advancing, and they're having the other number 9 that is pressing and trying to get the ball to a side, and then they're having their 10 pop up. So in this place, it's Ingram, and he's just popping up and trying to jump on their holding mid to prevent them from building through the middle.
Listed as a 4-4-2 tonight, but we'll talk about the diamond a great deal, and really controlling play in the center of the park is what this system is all about.
And you look at the 3 in the middle for Galaxy 2. And so you've got that numerical advantage with your diamond against their 3, but then they're pushing their outside backs up. So now it's a 5-on-4 in the middle. And so Galaxy 2 is trying to take advantage of that numerical advantage, and Indy's winning the ball in the repossession and trying to exploit that space that they're gaining.
And in the days of Indy playing a back 4, that has been frequent for Indy in terms of getting those outside backs into the attack. You have a guy like an Ioze or a Neville Hackshaw. You're going to try to get that person in the attack as best you can. By the way, we should explain why you're not seeing Neville Hackshaw tonight. Neville not back with the Indy 11 yet. Coach Lowry electing to give those guys that all saw international duty kind of an extra night off. Maybe we'll see them in the U.S. Open Cup match on Tuesday, but no Neville Hackshaw, no Noah Powder or Alex McQueen just yet, who played for Trinidad and Tobago in the case of Neville and Noah. And for Alex, representing Grenada in international football. His pro football experience before this had been exclusively in England. Here's Dunbar. Trying to find a window, dangerous moment there. Panico stretched out, follow-up volley scores. LA Galaxy 2 is on the board. And it is Michael Salazar, who absolutely loves playing in this building.
I was going to say, what was it? Who was it? Was it Memphis? Who was he with last year where he'd come in and he'd score these goals, even if he was just coming off the bench?
There is a conversation about should the offside flag have been up. So this is a goal for now, but there is still some deliberation that is taking place. Players are being asked to give some time for this discussion to happen. So this is a goal as of now. There is a chance that this one gets wiped off the board, but the answer is no. Goal will stand 1-0 in favor of LA Galaxy 2.
Yeah, I think they were taking a look if that was a pass across the box that Panico got, and was Salazar in an offsides position at the time that that pass or that shot was hit.
Well, let's take a look and let's see if we can diagram this for you.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. And you can argue that, okay, he's in an offsides position, and does that impact and affect the goalkeeper? That's always a really, really difficult one. I think there was a situation with Lou City last week where it was the same thing. They were calling for an interference because there was a player in there, and that can get into the goalkeeper's head as he has to adjust his positioning for it.
Well, this game has had at least a couple of goals in it from a feel standpoint. Now it has one from actuality. Goal for Salazar for LA Galaxy 2. And Los Dos has the 1-0 lead on the road. This early in the match hasn't really changed the tactics of the match all that much.
Well, I think you're being effective with how you're playing, and you look, and you mentioned it a couple times, especially on the last shot by Fjellborg, the number of shots that the 11 have generated in the attacking third that have gone over the bar. So it's again, that final execution that is lacking.
Tonight's game presented in part by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Numerous shots for the Indy 11. None of them really have been threatening as of yet. The crew led for about 30 minutes or so last Saturday. Their first and only lead of the season, having tallied just one time so far on the campaign. Judd plays it across Panico, the goalkeeper of the week this past week in the USL Championship. Talk about how much more wide open the play tends to be in the West, where Elliott played in his first year at this level a year ago. Still had a goals against average of under 1 last season playing for the Austin Bold.
You get to see a little bit of the electric way that Preston plays up top. That was a ball you didn't think he was going to get to. Not only did he get to it, but he actually puts it on frame.
That'll be a foul against Indy. Indy fans and some players thinking that may have been a dive taken that time. Remy Cabral, midfielder, drew the whistle. Judd gives the foul and gets the yellow in the process. So second yellow shown to LA Galaxy 2 player. Law, the veteran of over 15 seasons in England or Scotland, for making his way to the States last year.
And that's one of those ones where you say, okay, well, why are you making that
right
foul so high up the field when you've got 9 guys behind you that can defend it? And part of it may be, hey, it's Nicky Law in open space and something good can happen from that. Let me just slow it down right here.
In a year where there was not much positive for the Indy 11 last year, he was clearly one of the bright spots.
Unreal. Unreal. He just sees the game in such a third and fourth dimension.
Another corner coming. This is the first from the opposite corner flag tonight for the Indy 11. Law sends it in. Ball steered to the side. Couldn't do much with that one, could the Indy 11. Our final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of half number 1, presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Judd able to win that ball away from Cochrane. That took a knock off of Law. Flag now goes up. It was late, but the flag went up.
And it was the right call. It was late only because he was waiting to see if he was going to get a touch on the ball. I'll tell you, impressive job with Preston as the target to bring that ball down and turn with Cochrane draped all over it.
Take a look at Dunbar on the isolated camera, confirming the offside whistle being given. From a tactics change potential at halftime, anything you see for the Indy 11?
For the 11, no, I think you got to try and muster that same kind of energy that they started the game with because of how many opportunities he created. The next thing you just have to do is you got to finish those opportunities. For Galaxy 2, I'll tell you what, the way that they're playing up top with those top 3 is incredibly effective. Preston is doing an unbelievable job as a target in the center. That's compressing the back line. That's opening up the wings for Dunbar and Salazar, and they're finding them. They're finding those seams to get those guys out into the wings.
Right idea, wrong delivery from Fjellberg. Ball eventually makes its way to Nicky Law, but by this time, 5 or 6 defenders behind the ball for LA Galaxy 2. We'll hear from Indy 11 head coach Mark Lowry coming up towards the end of halftime. Update you on scores from other matches taking place around the USL Championship. And talk about the team of the week from week 3 of the USL Championship season. That and more coming your way at halftime here on Wish TV and ESPN Plus. Panico able to deliver that ball to a bit more of a safer location. Tonight's game presented in part by IMCU. Show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any University Credit Union branch or online at imcu.com today.
Oh, what a turn. Just pulls that ball in with his front foot, turns, and just opens himself up into the space.
Opportunity here again. Dunbar on the right side, plays it across it, sliding away. That's Cochrane.
I tell you, the space out wide for Dunbar and Salazar is concerning.
How do you mitigate that if you're Indy?
You got to release the compression on your back line. You can't have your back 4 in so tight. You're going to have to put Timmer, pop him out just a little bit further, and Rebellon the same on the other side against Salazar.
Ingram, the last to touch it, throw in coming. Would think we're looking at a minute or 2 of stoppage time before we get to the halftime pause.
Oh, great ball.
And Law finds Pino. Feldberg has space.
Take him.
Doyle trying to mark him. Feldberg, there was contact there, but not enough.
I think he had a legitimate, gripe on that. I think if he goes down, he might get that call.
Right.
But you like that the moment that the ball reached him and he had Doyle in a 1v1 with all that space behind him.
Feldberg, 3 goals in 8 games played for Rio Grande Valley a year ago. Was loaned late in the summer from FC Cincinnati. Salazar whistled for the infraction.
There's something to him. I'll tell you, every time he gets a touch on the ball, something could happen. You feel it.
Throw-in coming here for the Indy 11. Start to glance at the 4th official, who is not too far from our broadcast location here at Carroll Stadium, our unique perch in the suites at the midway point of this great stadium that was built in the early 80s. And as expected, I'd say it's Los Dos in terms of added minutes to half number 1 as well. Heads this one back to Panico, and the throw-in coming just past the midfield stripe.
Stuff, and that was a tough ball back to Panico. Preston was reading it. He was sitting on Cochrane, just kind of behind him, waiting for Timber to play that ball, and he was going to step in and press, and that's what caused the turnover.
Jerome, well done. Panico, no problem volleying that one to midfield. Nicky Law, just enough contact to draw the whistle. Today's game presented in part by our friends at Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered. The 11 trying to avoid losing their home opener for a 2nd consecutive season. Defeated by FC Tulsa 2-0 last year on May 8th. Throw-in coming. Then again, for the greatness of this facility, for the Indy 11, they've not won their first home game played of the season in this building ever.
Rakestraw, come on.
Tonight, hopefully the night to change that. But right now, the Indy 11 are chasing the game. LA Galaxy 2, Michael Salazar Jr. finds the side netting to make it a 1-goal lead for the visitors from Los Angeles. 1-0 our score. Halftime show comes your way next. It's opening night for year 9 of Indy 11 soccer here in this city of Indianapolis. Looking for that first home goal of the campaign. Hopefully it's in the final 45 minutes, if not more. Our score at the break, LA Galaxy 2-1, Indy 11-0. Halftime show comes your way next here on Wish TV and ESPN+. Got an original Indy 11 jersey, the original checkers, the boys in blue, the new checkers. You kind of see those on some of the fans of the Brickyard Battalion tonight as well. So far, it's LA Galaxy 2 trying to reign on the Indy 11 home debut. 1-0 the score so far at halftime. As we referenced earlier, the U.S. Open Cup is back. The Indy 11 will play in their first U.S. Open Cup match in nearly 3 years. The pandemic wiped it away each of the last 2 seasons. Indy will play host to St. Louis City. Again, this is the MLS team that will debut next year, but they have a reserve team that is playing in MLS Next Pro. And because they don't have an MLS team this year, their reserve team is eligible to play in the U.S. Open Cup. These 2 teams saw each other in a preseason friendly. They'll play here at Carroll Stadium Tuesday at 7:30. Brad and I will not have the broadcast of this match. It is available on ESPN+, but we will be here hanging out. We hope to see you here on Tuesday night.
I'll tell you what, the U.S. Open Cup is one of the most incredible tournaments. It's so great to see it back.
The Indy 11 have won 3 Open Cup matches in their history. They have yet to make a dramatic Open Cup run. This would be their 7th opportunity as a franchise to do so. Let's hope that this is the year. Again, 7:30 Tuesday night, they take on St. Louis City from MLS Next Pro. With that, we'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, we return our focus to USL Championship play. Right now, the Indy 11 trailing the LA Galaxy 2 by 1-0. More halftime coverage comes your way next as you're watching on Wish TV and ESPN+. Bushamani, and for a bog, crashing in, there it is! First of the year for San Diego!
And it's into the back of the net! El Paso
for a corner and a 10! What a goal! Are you watching Football Americas?
from a bit of a weather perspective, it's time to batten down the hatches. Keep our fingers crossed about no more rain, but clearly it has gotten a bit cooler. Wind is coming in. A lot of hardy folks on hand to watch this season debut, at least at home, of the 9th year of Indy 11 soccer. Right now they see the LA Galaxy 2 leading by a score of 1-0. Let's recognize the team of the week in the USL Championship. Indy 11 goalkeeper Elliot Panico, the goalkeeper of the week. Our buddy Cam Lindley from Garin Catholic High School played for the Indy 11 in 2020. This is his first year with the Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Look forward to seeing him in action on June 18th. We'll have the call of that match when Indy makes their way to the Switchbacks' brand new stadium. And Jackson Conway of Atlanta United 2, you see highlighted there, he is on the team of the week. He is the player of the week. They look around our out-of-town scoreboard. Other matchups taking place in this week number 4 of the USL Championship. Detroit City and Memphis 901. Full-time 1-1. And if you're watching Indy 11 for the first time this year, yes, Detroit City FC now plays in the league. They were one of the last kind of great independent clubs in the United States. They now a great addition to the USL Championship.
Yeah, and connection to Indy 11 with Trevor James running the franchise here for the past few years, and they have done a fantastic job, I think, winning 2 different championships with NISA. And
now you see teams here, any of these Eastern Conference teams, even Colorado Springs, a Western Conference team, because we are no longer in divisional play. For the last couple of years, say, hey, that's a nice result. Maybe we'll see that team in the playoffs. No, everybody that you see on this screen, Indy will play at least once during the course of this season.
Yeah, and you can't wait for some of these matchups. Some of the names change and some don't. Bob Lilly in Pittsburgh for one.
So these are the scores around the USL Championship. Now time for some news and notes around the entirety of the United Soccer League. So other things for us to talk about. 20 USL alumni saw action during the 2022 World Cup qualifiers. And can we talk about guys getting time international friendlies for the Indy 11? We're talking about guys like Tyler Adams that plays for Team USA, of course, now plays over in Germany. Well, he played in the USL Championship for Red Bulls 2, to give you an example. The USL Super League, the Women's Division 2 League under the USL banner, will debut next August, and it will play kind of the global calendar going from August to June. A reminder that the Indy 11 will have a team in the W League. In fact, they will play the first match in W League history May 6th at Grand Park. Indy11.com has more. And another Midwestern-ish club, welcome to Lexington, who will play in League One as in Lexington, Kentucky, and they will debut next year. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, we hope to be joined by the head coach of the Indy 11, Mark Lowry. That, and simply put, second half action is not too far away. Indy trying to make up a goal here at home. They trail 1-0 on Wish TV and ESPN+. Part of the story of half number one for the Indy 11, Brad. Missed chances, created a lot of shots, couldn't keep any of them on frame, and this yellow card brought up against Jonas Fjellberg.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, in real time, it looked like just a hard tackle, but seeing it over and over again, ooh, that was a close one.
Jared Timmer couldn't keep it on frame. Jonas Fjellberg, beautiful cutback to get a look, could not keep it on frame. Raul Aguilera and others, the exact same. The LA Galaxy 2, great job in and around the net. This one spelled by Panico, and Salazar, a poacher's goal. Again, we've seen that from him in this building before.
Yeah, and that's a tough finish. There's almost no angle on that ball, and you still have Panico you got to beat.
So there's a look at our halftime stats, and I would say the most troubling thing for head coach Mark Lowry is the fact that it was 61% possession in the first half for LA Galaxy 2.
Well, I tell you, I'd argue also you got the 9 shots that you created and you put none on target. That's going to be something that has to change.
All right, the second half's about to begin, but Mark Lowry kind enough to join us briefly. Mark, what'd you tell the guys at halftime?
Hit the target. We should be 3-0 up before we conceded. So we've got to hit the target. We had 9 shots, 0 on target. We're creating good chance to hit the target with it. We've got to show bravery in front of goal now.
Mark, thank you very much. Talk to you after the game. Head coach Mark Lowry kind enough to join us literally in the seconds before half number 2 is about ready to start. Can't put it more bluntly than that. They've created the chances, just haven't kept it on frame.
No, and I tell you, the game plan coming in, press, force those turnovers in the attacking third, and then you got to convert. You've converted into 9 shots. You just have to put them on frame.
No substitutions for either side. Of course, the teams can go with the full 5 substitutions. Revion, and much as we saw in the first half where Stefano Pino had a shot just wide of target in 20 seconds. Now the Indy 11 will have a corner about 25 seconds in to half number 2.
Yeah, and a great touch by Pino to get the ball into Revion there.
Ball sent in. The edge of the 18. Touch by Fjellberg. Law, Doyle. Will this be a throw or a corner? It will be a throw, just shy of the corner flag.
I'll tell you, the last 2 corners in the restart before that haven't gotten past the first defender.
The edge of the 6. Ball headed down, but nobody close to it. That was Pino that put that ball in a dangerous spot, but no one in checkers was anywhere nearby. Stefano, 43 goals in 3 years in the North American Soccer League, playing for Fort Lauderdale, Minnesota United, and Miami FC. That last stop in 2017, Stefano found the back of the net 21 times in 31 matches.
You're a stat guy. How many of those have come at the expense of the 11?
Enough.
That's not an actual number.
Stefano was part of the worst loss in Indy 11 history.
I remember that.
7-1 against the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, hence the term, that was enough. Stefano's 6th year of playing in the States, spent 2 years away from North America. The 31-year-old from Brazil. Stefano gets a touch here, but Doyle quickly knocks it away. Aguilera the target. Salazar, part of a team that had a surprising season in Memphis a year ago. Not much was expected for Memphis 901, but what a year Kyle Murphy had. 21 goals for Memphis 901 last year. Indy will play at AutoZone Park on May 14th in the not too distant future. Salazar keeping that ball in play for his team. Revion. Ball got behind him. Salazar will settle. Salazar now will redirect it back to the midfield. flag will go up. Dunbar was not going to get to that one. Regardless. Good look at Elliot Panico.
Good turn.
Law trying to find Fjellberg, but just couldn't make the connection. Timmer the read in midfield, or Brown, excuse me. His connection's just missing right now for the Indy 11. Salazar again, but Cochrane sliding to parry it away.
And I'll tell you, a great read by Salazar there. Preston was in an offside position. He wanted to slip him in and slip him through, but he saw he was offsides, carried the ball, and was able to tuck that ball in to Dunbar's space.
Fans, Indy 11 Premium Suites are the perfect way to entertain your guests. Learn more at Indy11.com or call 317-685-1100. And there was all kind of issues on that play. Indy 11 asking for a handball. And Stefano Pino with a tackle reminiscent of Dick Night Train Lane. I did not have Night Train Lane on the announcer bingo card for tonight.
You have a bingo card for tonight?
We haven't set one up yet, but hang 'em high did Stefano Pino. You can go Night Train Lane, Wyndham Lariat on that reference. Either one of them would have worked. And that's what obviously drew the whistle. Josh Drack was the party that will have perhaps some chiropractic work done after said tackle. Back to the relative safety of Salazar with the Indy 11 player within 15 yards.
Oh, what a find.
Aguilera. His backside maintains possession. Salazar once again down behind the play for LA Galaxy 2. Indy 11 stopped when play was in such a scenario in the first half. Weren't going to stop this time around. This time the official stops it for them.
A couple things you've seen that the Galaxy have done here in the second half is they've not pushed their wing backs up quite as far. So now they're giving a little bit more support to their center backs and their six to try and build a little bit because of so many turnovers that they had in the first half.
Salazar wearing the captain's armband tonight. You see where the avoidance of contact happened, but it must have been on the landing that time from Salazar. A bit worse for wear, and neither team has used a substitution yet this evening.
I'll tell you what, I really like how their front three is built. You know, if you can pressure defenders to focus on their target, Preston, who's so dangerous, that opens up the wings for Salazar and Dunbar. If you pop out further, now you give space in the middle for Preston to work.
Tonight's game presented in part by Bet Rivers. Bet Rivers is the official sports betting partner of the Indy 11. Bet Rivers, bet with a winner. Salazar appears to be fine as he played that ball through Rebillon. Wrestling towards the corner flag. Brown will win that ball back for Indy. And this one heading in our general direction. Get to make a play kind of once every 4 or 5 games up here.
Almost. I saw you react to that.
We've got our official team, sanctioned gloves that double as goalkeeper's gloves to punch them away tonight. Ingram, the touch. Ingram couldn't get there in time. It is deemed to be touched last by a member of LA Galaxy 2. Ingram plays it in.
Oh, nice ball.
Punched away by Sanchez. Good read by Judd. Could eventually be a throw-in coming here for Indy. First-year pro is Ingram. Fjellberg the target. Aguilera. Job one was to beat the man. Job two was to find the ball. It's on the end for the Indy 11 as Ravillon will take the throw. That's good defense by Salazar. We talked about his offensive prowess. That was well done.
Yeah, just getting away.
And some guys just seem to play well against certain teams. The case for Salazar against the Indy 11. Maybe upset to know this is the only time he gets to play against the Indy 11 this season.
It's just a smart play here. You know, there's no other option for Indy to get a piece of that ball other than to foul him.
Ball just stayed in play.
It's the wing back sitting a little deeper for Galaxy 2 has made a difference in their ability to build out of the back. It's a great tactical move. Good decision at halftime.
Nicky Law with the force. We'll give and go here. Pocket of space for Aguilera. Fjellberg for Ingram, but that's Dunbar.
Great read.
The last two really good defensive plays by LA Galaxy 2 by guys that usually are playing further up top.
And you love seeing that as a coach. Here are these guys that they've got to cover a lot of ground because they're playing so wide up top. They've come back, both of them, to make a great defensive play for Galaxy 2.
And just a bit of wind held up that clearance from Meshack Jerome. Fjellberg.
I like the way he plays.
Just kind of working his way through the minefield there. Fjellberg has played in all 4 Indy 11 matches so far this year. Appeared as a reserve against Loudoun United. In the starting 11 for each of the last 3 matches.
And I'll tell you what, in that Loudoun game, he came in as a reserve, but he immediately impacted the game.
Nicky Law trying to find an outlet. That outlet is Stefano Pino. It's continuing to pick up a rather crisp early April Saturday evening. Extended spell of possession for the Indy 11 that doesn't result in anything, and that will be a foul whistle against Cochrane as he and Judd wrapped each other up.
And I tell you, Judd reminds me a lot of Wilson Harris.
Yes,
just
he does.
makes something happen every time it comes to him. You know, there's a couple of nothing balls that have been played to him where he's got no options, and he still either turns or plays that ball out to one of the wings or a supporting player in behind him.
After 9 years, you are picking up my non-soccer technical terms. I love that.
I am.
A nothing ball.
Ready for some trivia? Ready for some of your LA Indy trivia?
Fire away.
Okay, a couple layups for you here.
Okay.
Pacer star that now is playing out in LA.
Paul George would be my guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
First round draft pick from the Pacers playing out in LA.
Well, it would also be Paul George.
No.
He was a first round pick.
Okay.
He was pick number 10.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you the same trivia question.
That's what I got to think about. Pino draws the foul against Doyle. Doyle not happy with the whistle, but a chance to throw some numbers forward. In the interest of moving this along, go ahead and give me the answer to that one.
Kawhi Leonard.
Right, because he was traded for George Hill. Was that the next question you're going to ask me? Okay.
No. That's not my. I got one. I think I'm going to stump you.
Okay. Well, you stumped me on that one. Quick restart, but the official says no, and he thought the ball was live. By the way, Aris Briggs appears to be the first Indy 11 substitution. He's not to the 4th official just yet, but he has ditched the jacket. Deliberate pace here in half number 2 for LA Galaxy 2. Playing with a 1-goal lead. A very solid tactical match for the visitors from LA.
Oh, what
Advantage being played, opportunity here. Knock it forward to Salazar. Salazar into a space, but for For his normal excellent work in this building, he'd like to have that one back, does not keep that one on frame. Tonight's game presented in part by the Denny Companies. The Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future.
Yeah, Salazar, great touch to get past Jerome, but it was put a little too far to his back foot, so he couldn't square up for a good shot on frame.
Going to give away a young man that we last saw playing for Real Monarchs here at the end.
Oh, great
Finds
touch.
Rebillon. Looking back post. Ball knocked away. Fell.
Great finish.
And for the first time since last October, cue the smoke. And
what great patience. I mean, there were so many opportunities. The 11 could have pulled
out. Everything had been elevated by the Indy 11 and half number one. And there is often this protective bubble that is Berg's opportunity that Sanchez could not corral. Aguilera pounces on it.
Sidestep Sanchez. There was still a lot of traffic in the box.
And there is nothing like the smell of sulfur on the campus of IUPUI as the smoke billows from west to east from the Brickyard Battalion. Feldberg. Doyle won the foot race to get there, but it will be a corner. And Mark Lauer and his staff all on their feet applauding the effort. Same for the Brickyard Battalion.
Look, I think they pulled Briggs back on the substitution, and it may have been that coach was going to look to push another player up high and maybe take off a midfielder or a defender. And with the equalizer now, that changes things tactically.
Law sends it in, headed down, but saved. It was a late read, but a great one by Sanchez.
I tell you, these are the moments you feel as a team. These are the moments you feel as a coach. The energy is tilted, momentum's there. You want to grab one again here before the game sort of settles back in.
And that ball took a deflection, I believe, as well. That kind of made that ball slightly easier for Sanchez to play. But as per usual, the service sublime from Nicky Law. Opportunity here. Panico. Diving effort. That ball off the side netting. It was a deflection, so it will be a corner coming. Davila that will take this to the corner flag. Andy Williams getting some last-minute instructions before heading to the fourth official. Lefty in-swinger coming here. But first, a bit of a conversation. Ball sent in. It's all the way to the back post. And it will be a corner. Seemed to have been an Indy 11 touch there, so we'll try this from the opposite side.
Yeah, that's a tough one too, because you're really uncontested on the backside that you could collect that ball and clear it if there's even a 50-50 chance that you're not sure where the call's going to go.
Sent in at the edge of the 6, goes all the way through again. This time no touch, and Rebillon content to let that one ball trickle across the end line. And here is our first substitution of the match. All of our substitutions are presented by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. Cabral will exit. Haney Williams will come in to replace him. Anico hasn't had many chances to do this tonight. He's going to clear the troops, and again, that wind, that is a 3-club wind at this point. It's why part of the reason why you also saw LA Galaxy keep it low and play it on the ground in half number 1. And this is for those watching outside of Indianapolis, because this was a track stadium first. This was built east to west, not the typical north-south you would have for the pitch. It is a strong breeze, to say the least, coming from kind of the northwest at this point. Tonight's game presented in part by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Indy 11 has yet to use a substitution. You're 65 minutes in. Obviously, weather conditions not playing a factor in terms of sapping energy tonight. And they're also in this stretch of the season where they have yet to have any midweek traffic. That changes to some degree with the U.S. Open Cup coming up on Tuesday.
I'll tell you what, the importance of that equalizer, too, is now Indy can sit back a little bit and let play come to them instead of having to press the back line of the Galaxy.
And again, I don't think either team is looking for a point here. You know, both these two teams are going to try to find at least one more goal. It's a long way to come for a point for Los Dos. And when you're playing, again, as an MLS affiliated side, you want results, but you're more concerned with style of play and how you play. So they're a little more less pragmatic in terms of playing for the draw.
That's in the office back in Los Angeles. Here, every one of these players is looking for those 3 points. Everybody on staff here is saying, no, we're going to get the 3.
And for the Indy 11, knowing you've pulled just 1 point from your first 3 matches, 1 point is better than none. You're looking for the home 3. Trying to win your home opener for the first time in 2 years.
Well, the interesting thing, you look at the last few years, and the teams that have made the playoffs have been in the high 20s, low to mid 30s as far as points. And that's, you know, you're averaging about a point a game. And a win here tonight puts you right on pace, even though you've had a rough start and you've been on the road for the first 3 matches.
The Indy 11 were all of 3 points out of a playoff spot entering tonight's match. Then again, there are 30 matches left to go at the conclusion of business tonight. Fans, just a reminder, you can take the boys in blue with you wherever you go. Download the all-new Indy 11 app in the Apple Store or get it on Google Play. Those substitutions starting to be waved from the corner flag for the Indy 11. Judd flicks it forward, but literally had no teammates on this side of the midfield stripe. Looks like Briggs may be getting one more shot to enter this match for Indy. A 6'4" forward that gets your attention. One of 2 players that were in the Real Salt Lake system last year. Doyle the foul. And Liam is told no more. He is officially on double secret probation from Dean Wormer at this point.
It's tough. He's got his hands full trying to match up with Pino, because the pace of Pino is pretty good if he's able to bring that ball down and turn Doyle. And so he's right up on him and being aggressive on every touch. I don't know that he needed to there, because he's on the edge of his defensive third, and he's got 2 defenders tucked in behind him.
You got to think that Doyle and Pino have crossed paths just a couple of times before. Guys that have played this long at this level of North American soccer. Law, bending ball that did not reach its target. Follow up that Sanchez read beautifully. And a fantastic restart. Wow. Williams flying down the left flank. Has 2 attackers with him. He does not find one of them. Now Rebion will try to carve out space and hold things up, and does so exquisitely well.
What a brawl by Sanchez to get him out in transition.
opportunity here. It's Dunbar. Dunbar's pass did not go the way he wanted it to, but second opportunity, looking back post, and Panico swallows it up quickly and follows Sanchez's quick release with the throw and finds Aguilera, who is off to the races. Pino will track it back. Not exactly have numbers going forward. Pino tries to slide it across, and Fjellberg went towards the near post when Pino thought he would stay out wide, or at least make that run parallel along the edge of the 6-yard box. Just a bit behind Ingram, the Pike High School graduate. Switch the attack. Dunbar, those couldn't keep it in control, and I'll be starting to see kind of the first sign of some tired legs going both directions after 70-plus minutes.
Yeah, pass to the wrong foot, a little slower in the recovery run. Okay, here you go. Final trivia, tough trivia question.
Yes, sir.
This LA resident race car driver has the distinction of being the only Indy 500 winner to have his name misspelled on the Borg Warner Trophy.
I should know this. Give me a minute. Panico. Play that off to the side. Properly read exactly where he was in terms of his field position. Elliot Panico, third year as a pro, on loan from Nashville SC. Second year playing at this level. Loaned to Austin Bold last year. Played his collegiate soccer at Charlotte, which is the same college where John Bush played his college soccer.
Look at that.
By the way, congratulations, our buddy Bushy. These days, he is the goalkeeping coach at Hibs in Scotland. What an opportunity for the former Indy 11 netminder, the man that was between the pipes between 2016 and 2017, following nearly 15 years in Major League Soccer.
That's such a cool opportunity for him.
Dunbar, opportunity here. Flag stayed down. Timmer stays in front of him. Well defended as a group by the Indy 11, but not completely out of danger just yet. Dunbar lifts it. Salazar heads it. A can of corn for Elliot Panico. Fans, just a reminder, we're watching tonight's game on Wish TV. Wish TV is your local news source online at wishtv.com. And of course, the Wish TV news can be seen both on Wish TV and My Indy TV promptly at 10 o'clock. I owe you an answer on the trivia question, Brad. I'm going to take a flyer here.
Okay.
Was it Johnny Parsons who had his name misspelled in the Borg Warner Trophy?
Son of a gun. Where did you pull that from?
My producer, Braden French.
Are you kidding me? You've got inside? That's insider trading.
Foul called against the Indy 11. Card shown to the Indy 11. And a pair of substitutions about to enter for the Indy 11. Let's take a look here. It's Ingram. And that was not for the ferocity of the foul, but for the potential of the opportunity for LA Galaxy 2 that Ingram was put in the books. Looking this one up and over the wall, and Panico the punch.
That is a nice ball.
That's frankly a spot where you don't often see many restarts from. Once again, those two Indy 11 players awaiting by the fourth official. Rebion can
It's a great decision.
take his time. He's a vet.
And the interesting thing, I mean, he's got two players that are in the vicinity. He's waiting to read if they're going to come and they're going to press him or not. They both take a step back. He decides instead of hitting this ball away, I'm going to bring it down. And what a touch.
So here comes the subs for Indy. Briggs will replace Ingram. And Noah Powder will make his Indy 11 debut at home as well. And Noah, more of a veteran of this league. Noah's approaching 100 appearances in the USL Championship. Not see him in action last week, representing Trinidad and Tobago along with Neville Hackshaw. Neville not in the 18 tonight. We hope to see him back, if not for the Open Cup on Tuesday, for the match at RGV next Saturday. And just a reminder, all of our substitutions are presented by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. 15 minutes plus stoppage time. Both teams in search of one additional goal.
Good call. Good call.
Chance of we want 3, Brickyard Battalion. The players in the field feel the exact same way. Not a bad idea by Aguilera, but just nobody in the vicinity to go track that down. Kind of other really attack-minded player that's available for selection off the bench tonight for Indy is Rodney Michael, a man from Sierra Leone that had the goal line saving clearance to keep the Indy 11 getting a point last week in Louisville. And a man that was brought up from South Georgia Tormenta in League One. Not the best of efforts that time in the midfield by Indy. Kind of a rough first touch for Noah Powder tonight.
The game's getting a little bit sloppy.
And Timmer. And that's going to be a foul for a dive against Judd. No, not exactly a dive. Maybe they said that he retaliated against Timmer, because that's, again, the farthest spot on the field away from us. But originally, Timmer put up that arm, and I was worried that that foul was going to be against him.
Right.
Immediately, the linesman said, nope, that goes the other direction. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, whether it's the dive or the kind of the kick out of the legs that clipped Timmer. Either way, possession reverts back to the Indy 11.
What a ball.
Fjellberg, his shot blocked. Rebion immediately waving the trainer out for LA Galaxy 2. Is Drac down in some significant pain on the turf. It will be a corner, but first we'll have some extended time here to deliberate as Drac gets checked on.
You can see the next level thinking by Rebion on this play. He's not just going up to win the ball, but he's winning the ball and playing it right into the path of Fjellberg.
Every team has a guy that doesn't often factor in a lot of stats, but is involved in a lot of key plays. I get that sense that Rebion is going to be that guy this year for the Indy 11.
I could see that.
Doesn't make the pass kind of the hockey assist, makes the pass that sets up the pass that sets up the goal. That could be him. And there are still a bevy of substitutions available for each of these two teams if need be. I want to thank our friends at Hyatt Place and Hyatt House downtown Indianapolis. Experience comfort here in downtown Indy. That is Alex McQueen. You see on your screen. Alex has played in one match for the Indy 11, picked up a red card in the opener against Loudoun United, which meant he could not play in the following week against Tampa Bay, and then was out on international duty last week playing for Grenada. Alex is from England. He's more of a defensive-minded player. Has played in England for Barnet, making his way stateside for the first time in his career. Not in the match just yet. First things first, a corner coming right now. Galaxy 2 plays a man down. Ball sent in at the edge of the 6 and steered to safety and Meshack Jerome. That ball went through a variety of players. Fjellberg on the hop, but flag goes up. Queen now making his way towards the 4th official. Queen was playing non-league football in England, playing in the 5th division. A player that had numerous opportunities to come here. Shows the Indy 11. One of the first additions of the offseason. Here's Dunbar. He and Salazar have been the fulcrum points of the attack for LA Galaxy 2 tonight. They have been the 2 players we have talked about the most. And given how Drac is moving, I think his day is done. Again, LA Galaxy 2 currently playing a man down. They can rectify that with a substitution in the very near future. And they've got a player heading to the 4th official as we speak. Rebion looking for Fjellberg. Leaves it for him. Jonas around Doyle. Slides it across. Window wasn't there. It is Campbell, by the way, who will be entering. Take Campbell. Not just yet. McQueen will come in first, and that touch was Fjellberg's last. Going a bit more defensive-minded here in the final 10 minutes. The substitution presented by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. And Drac is the player that Campbell is replacing. So back to full strength now, 11v11, as Campbell enters the fray. There's McQueen, also spent time playing for Dagenham and Redbridge. And that may be the most English-sounding football club I have ever referenced on a broadcast. No foul there. Indy 11 plays on. Powder. Great find. Rebion has 4 options to his left. The edge of the 6, Doyle with the read. Brown steps in front of Salazar, but it is Williams that has some space to operate on the far sideline. He has some of the freshest legs on the park. Salazar couldn't keep it at his feet. LA threw some numbers forward. Does this match have one more goal in it? It's Pino. Pokes into Briggs.
What a find.
Briggs, a series of pivots. It was a committee meeting defensively around him before he distributed the ball to find McQueen. McQueen sends it in. Doyle steers it wide, and that was not the direction that Liam had hoped to steer it. Corner coming for Indy in minute number 83.
Yeah, you can see the flags in the Brickyard Battalion in the front row there are showing how difficult that ball was to read for Doyle.
It is Powder that will take this corner. Again, Law has been subbed out of this match for Powder. Normally the guy that would take these corners. Again, no Ioze yet due to injury this season for the Indy 11. Powder sends it in. Edge of the 6. Headed down, but immediately then off target by an LA Galaxy 2 player. Powder. Now Rebion.
Great decision.
Rebion plays it across, but no traffic in front of Sanchez to make that just the least bit interesting. Goal by Salazar before halftime. Goal by Aguilera just shy of the 61st minute. We have played on level footing over the last 20-plus minutes. And Salazar has spent as much time on the turf tonight as either goalkeeper has. He perhaps has run his last tonight. And he has the goal. And as of now, has given a point to the visitors. Tonight's game presented in part by the Morales Groups. Staffing agencies find jobs. We build futures. Hello to Seth Morales and the good folks at the Morales Group. He's known for a different type of football. A rather famous catch in the game against Ohio State from his playing days at Purdue University. Adrian Gonzalez is the player that'll be waved on when given the opportunity. As you would think, Salazar's night is done. And I would say that's further amplified by the fact that Liam Doyle just took the captain's armband from him and put on his left or right arm. Our final 5 minutes plus stoppage time presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Salazar taking his dear old sweet time at this point. LA Galaxy 2 kind of keeping with what has been the, I know you like when I use fancy words in the broadcast, the nomenclature, the numerical convention of most of the two teams. They save the majority of numbers 1 through 30 for the Major League Soccer club. So you see a lot of 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s in terms of numbers for the players for Los Dos.
I wonder if anybody in the booth is going to be able to help me out, like with the definition of nomenclature.
Well, we got a young man, Ryan Conley from Carmel High School, who is job shadowing and going to such a wonderful academic institution like Carmel. I'm sure he could explain to you what nomenclature would be here after the end of the broadcast. He'll probably tell me I used it wrong, actually, so never mind.
Better be careful. Better be careful.
I know I can just tend to wow you with syllables at times on the show.
Yeah, I can't call you out on it either because I don't know if you're right or not.
Pressure by Dunbar. And you can argue whether he or Salazar has been the man of the match from the LA perspective.
Well, the tough part with it, too, is the attention that Judd gets in the middle is what creates the space for those guys. So, you know, when you're looking on how you defend them, do you either spread out and try and cover it touchline to touchline and reduce all of their opportunity to get out in space, or do you shrink it and just give them the outsides?
See some empty seats on those stands of what would be the south side of the stadium. Understandable given the weather conditions, rain, the 2 hours leading up to kickoff. Chilly temperatures here for this season opener. Rebion got stepped on by Williams, and so Rebion now will take a moment if he can continue on. Where you do not see empties, though, is the Brickyard Battalion. Brickyard Battalion has actually been around for 11 years.
I don't think they go home.
Well, they live here.
I think they've been there for 11 years.
They've been here since October, actually. This is the 9th year of the team. So again, the Brickyard Battalion predated the Indy 11 by 2 years of play, by 1 year of their existence. They are in mid-season form, as they always are. Opportunity here. Aguilera, and then the wrong turn made by Barry. I think we're looking at a decent amount of stoppage time. Probably in the neighborhood of 4 minutes coming up at the end of this one. Goals, injuries, substitutions in half number 2. Again, a point aside would be a fair result, the way this one is played out. But neither team's concerned with fair. They'd much rather take 3. If that's a smash and grab for points late, so be it. Opportunity here for Galaxy 2, but Judd could not get to it.
Oh, it's just a tough. I mean, he had the opportunity, just needed to lay it a little softer into Judd's path.
I want to thank our great production crew from Tupelo Honey, our first-time producer in Braden Pretch, at least of our matches here at Carroll Stadium. The mic. Thank our great camera guys, because it is not easy to be out shooting in these elements tonight. as the wind continues to howl here in downtown Indy. It's the camera work of Kevin Ratterman you're seeing at midfield. Campbell on the restart. That is a shanked clearance. A chance for some real estate to be picked up here by Indy. Well, our eyes start to head towards the fourth official to see exactly how much time is remaining in this match. As Jerome just sends that one to the stratosphere.
Oh, with that win.
And sees what's going to happen. 5 minutes of added time. 5 minutes remaining in the match. Great turn by Aguilera. But Pino. Now the ball sent 75 yards down the field. Panico will restart, but Doyle is down in a heap, and we'll stop it right here. Doyle went down immediately. And frankly, this was at a point where you could stop the match. Go where the ball is in the goalkeeper's hands, stop it right there. Doyle's put in quite the shift tonight. He pops back up.
He did not pop up in a jovial way.
No, no. Briggs with the step that time that drew the attention of Liam. Liam, one of the many players added at the end of last season when bodies were at a premium for the Indy 11. He, Toby Adewole, Emmanuel Ledesma, amongst those that joined the team late in the year. Here's a look for Briggs. Briggs, beautiful cutback. Revion does something similar. Knocks it forward, McQueen. And McQueen, is it a corner? No. Or is it a corner? Yes, it is. That ball just veered across the end line. So corner coming here.
Great opportunity.
No need to be in a hurry here if you're Indy. Take your time and get something set. McQueen normally plays more of a defensive role for this team, but with some players like Iose, Manuel Arteaga, Nebiel Hackshaw missing, playing a bit more forward. Oh my goodness.
What a great ball.
Fantastic ball. Ball snapped forward by Cochrane, and AJ knows that, I wouldn't say he missed the target, but missed an opportunity. Didn't miss it by much.
He knows he had a clean look at it. It was just a little bit behind him where he couldn't get a good snap on the ball.
Cochrane usually charged with goal prevention, not goal scoring, but had a good look there, did AJ. Our battalion showcasing their counting skills on the restart. Williams takes a tumble. We play on, no whistle given. Throw in coming at the midfield stripe for LA Galaxy 2. And for either of the players on either team that are going sans sleeves right now, they're braver than I would be. Weather conditions can best be described as raw right now. Well, knocked forward Briggs.
Oh,
couldn't slide it around Neal. Neal did his job just to slow the attack. Still 2 minutes. Perhaps a bit more because of the Doyle injury before the final whistle is sounded. Brown, and that'll be a foul. Yep, that's a retaliation. Gonzalez thought he was fouled. Brown played through contact. Gonzalez goes back at him. And again, the wind is a factor in this restart in terms of what you can do from here.
Yeah, we've seen how difficult it's been for players to read that ball up in the air. So if this ball's going to be driven, you got a great opportunity to find the other end of it. And if it's popped up there and floated, it could go anywhere.
Powder, like the veteran, he has tried to buy about 5 yards in moving the ball forward. Queen to his right. Ball sent in. Redirection to McQueen. Jerome can't play that flat ball. You invite too many bad things if you do that. It's all the way back to Panico. Distribution outstanding. Now what can Briggs do on the flank? Briggs trying to get around Neal. Powder's got all kind of space, edge of the 18. Ball was not sent his way. It went to Briggs instead. Is there one more opportunity for Galaxy 2 here? Dying embers of the match. It'll help things from the Indy 11 perspective. Now does Indy have time to mount one more attack? 20-ish seconds, perhaps a bit more. Jerome,
oh, what a touch.
Sitting on it, line it up, right foot doesn't get through as Rebion. It will be a throw-in, and now we glance towards the match referee.
And that's tough. I mean, you're in a spot where you think you've got a good look on goal. You got Powder just off your shoulder that might have a better look.
So we have hit the 5 minutes. Now how much additional will be given in? That's it. A point each side. Again, a fair result tonight. Indy had hoped for 3. Back-to-back matches without a loss. And one thing that Mark Lowry will talk about with this club is progression. Brad, what sort of progression did you see tonight?
Well, you look at it as a fair result because both teams had opportunities, but you're still disappointed in the fact that you had so many opportunities that you didn't put on frame.
Tonight's final score brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. More than 25 locations across Indianapolis. Your neighborhood paint store is always there to provide the perfect finish. Wasn't the perfect finish for the Indy 11 tonight, but again, you'll take the point going into Open Cup play on Tuesday against St. Louis SC. AJ Cochrane amongst those that will join us for a post-game conversation. Goal scorer Raul Aguilera set to join us as well. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back and wrap up our game broadcast before we then get to the Central Indiana Honda Dealers post-game show presented by Bet Rivers. The TIFO was fantastic. BYB sublime. End result, solid. A goal apiece for Indy 11 and LA Galaxy 2. Post-game coverage comes your way next on Wish TV and ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
We are back on the campus of IUPUI. It's time for our post-game show brought to us by our Central Indiana Honda dealers. Not to mention our good folks at Bet Rivers. Tonight, the Indy 11 take home a point. We'll talk to the goal scorer, Raul Aguilera, coming up in a matter of moments. But first to join us, the gentleman that without Neville Hackshaw on the lineup or the captain's armband for the Indy 11 this evening, It is A.J. Cochrane back for his second year with the Indy 11. My friend, it's good to have you back. It's good to have you join us on the post-game show. I know you wanted 3 points. Your thoughts about getting the draw tonight?
I thought we started off the game very well. We created 3 or 4 quality opportunities for ourselves. Obviously, like you said, we wanted to walk away with 3 points from this game. Thought the boys played hard. Congratulations to Raul scoring his goal for Indy 11. It's disappointing we didn't get the full 3 points, but proud of the boys' performance. We left it all out there. We created opportunities the last 20 minutes to go and win the game. It's a new group of guys. We're continuing to learn. We're continuing to, come closer together. So, yes, we're disappointed with the point, but, thank you to all the fans that came out tonight. It was incredible, and, we're going to keep going, moving forward from here.
You're a vet, so you're used to either playing for a different team or playing for a different coach almost on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
What's the adjustment been like playing for Mark Lowry so far?
Man, it's been great so far. He just brings this tenacity, and, the boys are all bought into the system. Unfortunate to not get, the 3 points tonight, but we're a tight group of guys. We're only getting closer. We're working hard in training. I got a lot of high expectations for this team this year. So.
And Judd is a handful. I think he got 17 goals last year. You wound up matching up against him for most of the match. Yeah. How do you contain him? I mean, he factored into the game in some respects, but you kept him off the board.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's strong. He's powerful. He's got good movement off the ball. Playing next to Mishak is great, who's also very experienced. We just wanted to make sure that we kept good communication with him. He likes to make those runs into the channels, and that's huge credit. He didn't get a lot of opportunities into the channels tonight because our press was very good from our midfielders and our front three. So credit to them. Me and Mish just needed to do a lot of communicating back there and try to keep him off the scorecard. So.
You talk about how the group is still learning. What are some of those areas that you've seen the most growth in?
Good question. I think we are a lot more aggressive. The first 2 games, I think we were still a little hesitant on how we wanted to play. Not sure how to play with the guys next to us yet. The last 2 games, we've seen a different attitude, and I think that's shown in the chances that we've created and the opportunities to win these games. So. Like I said, we got our full team back, too. We missed, I think it was 4 or 5 guys last week. So it's only going to get stronger from here. I promise you guys that. We're bought into this, and it's, positive things ahead for sure.
My friend, go get someplace warm. Thanks for the time. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
All right, we go from A.J. Cochrane. Raul Aguilera will join us coming up in just a matter of moments. Your thoughts on what the man wearing the captain's armband had to say tonight?
Well, I tell you, you really love when you've got a guy that keeps talking about they're bought in. You're only going to see better play from us as we continue to grow and we continue to learn together. So that is, that's A+. When you go back as a coach and you watch that, you're very happy.
And again, AJ is such a veteran. He's been at this level really for the last 7-8 years. His second year here with the Indy 11. A guy that is now in his first year with the Indy 11, and his first goal scorer for the club was tonight. It is Raul Aguilera who joins us now. Raul, congratulations. Just tell us about that opening the count, as they say, with that first Indy 11 goal.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I should have had 2 tonight to be